Guys, guess what? Today is the day we finally get to talk about what the program is behind this month's calendar grid. You know, we talked about function machines, and a function machine does the same thing over and over and over again, and your job was to try to make some observations to figure out, what could this machine be doing? And we hadn't really talked about it yet, and I told you if you thought you knew, just hold on to that because we're going to talk about it today, which is Friday, March the 12th. And so I'm so excited to figure this out with you guys today. Before we do that, though, let us update our calendar collector. That way we spend the rest of our time talking about calendar grid. Cool? All right. First spin is yours. Let me zoom in because that looks like it's on the line. It is on the line. Do you see it? It's on the line. So I got to spin for you again. Here we go. Okay, so you get 1/6 and I get 1/3. So I will add that to our chart, and I believe on Monday we will figure out who has more again, since we are racing essentially to fill up 6 of those holes that are in our notebook. So, all right. Now that that is done, let's see what today's calendar marker looks like. We know that it's counted by 1s here, but it's going by 3s here, but it starts at 4. So here's today's calendar marker. It's the 12th, and out comes 37, which does follow 3 more than the day before. Now here is the deal. So we remember we looked at our function machines before, so that's fine. Let me do this. Let's look at this sheet right here. And I want you to read this paragraph right here really quickly, silently to yourself. Right, so this function machine, it spits out numbers, but it's saying that it thinks in pictures, and it likes to have 2 different colors. And so they're showing you essentially how this machine is transforming our numbers for our calendar grid. So if you are at home and you are home with a math bag or some math tools such as some colored counters or colored tiles, I should say, go ahead and pull those out so that you can participate with me today. If you are at school and you have access, then you're more than welcome to pause this video so that you can get prepared with some colored tiles. If you don't have access to tiles, that's okay. Just kind of follow along with me. I'll try to add some extra pauses in between so that if you do have them, you can pause and participate with what I'm going to be talking about today. So here are the very first 3 arrangements of tiles, these pictures that this function machine is thinking about for the first 3 days. So you put in a 1, what do you notice? Put in a 2, what do you notice? So I'm asking you to make some observations. What are you seeing? All right, so all of them have 3, it looks like I'm going to call them 3 arms. One on this side, in the middle, and here, and then each of them has 1 tile in the middle. Okay, what else? Do you notice that it still goes 4 to 7 to 10? They're still adding 3 each time. Okay, what else? Yeah, look, 1 on each arm here, 2 on each arm, 3 on each arm. So if we were to continue building this pattern, wonder what it would look like. So if you have tiles, go ahead and pause this video so that you can build what you think it will look like for the 4th marker, or for the 4th arrangement, and for the 5th arrangement. So maybe you built something that looks like this. And these are really big tiles, so I might need to go to my Number Pieces app in order to show you what it could look like. So if you were to build it, does yours look like mine? Seems like it's still following the same pattern. So on the first day, we have 1 coming out of each arm, and that one always stays in the middle. Second day, 2 coming out each arm. Third day, 3 coming out each arm. So on the 4th day, look, 4 coming out each arm with that 1 in the middle. And on the 5th day, 5 are coming out each arm, and 1 is in the middle. So if you were able to build out with tiles, hopefully this is what yours looks like, even if you have different colors than what I have. As long as you have essentially the same idea, then you are good to go. If you don't have tiles, that's okay. Hopefully you understood some of the things that you just saw, or not some of the things, understood why I created the arrangement to look the way that it did. So we noticed earlier, just to type out some of our observations, that there's always 1 in the middle, right? There's always 1 in the middle. And then we have the same number on each arm. So for example, on day 1, there is 1 on each arm, which means I guess I should say that there are 3 arms, right? All right, so there's always 1 in the middle. We have 3 arms, and then the same number are on each arm. So on day 1, there's 1 on each arm. Day 2, there's 2 on each arms. And it's still going up by 3. Each day increases by 3. Okay, so those are the observations that we made. So now I want to talk to you about how we could do a quick draw, a quick sketch of exactly what I just made with my Number Pieces, which I'm going to tell you, I did it while I was paused, and it just took a few minutes just to keep dragging and dragging and dragging. And if we were to continue to do this for the remaining days in March, or at least up until today, which is the 12th, that might take quite a while. So here's a way that we could do a quick sketch. So I'm going to get my pencil out here, and if you have your pencil and a notebook, you can draw with me what I'm drawing. So in the middle, we always have 1 square. So I'm going to put my 1 square here and my 1 square here. You know, tiles are squares, so if this is not a square, I'm sorry. Not perfect, but that's okay. All right, and then since we know that each arm has the same number as the day, then maybe I should have written that like that up here for our observations, then I can just draw it simply like this. Here's an arm. And here's an arm. And here's an arm. And how much would you say is in each arm? There's 4, 4, 4, and then of course our 1 that's always in the middle. So see if you can draw a quick sketch for what 5 would look like. And you may want to pause this video if you're doing so, because I'm going to go ahead and do my quick sketch. And if they're not proportionate, I'm sorry. Right. Did you draw yours to look something like this? We know that they're the same number of arms as the date. So 5, 5, 5, 5. All right. Now, can you see the connection between the number of tiles that are represented here and the number that's on the marker? So, for example, for the 4th, let's look at our calendar marker. We have 4 and then we had 13. Let's look at our picture. We have 4. Do you see where 13 is? Yeah, 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 1. Let's check and see if day 5 looks the same. 5 and then 16. Do we have 16? 5, 10, 15, 16. Those of you who are able to figure out the pattern, is this confirming what you were thinking? I'm curious. Let me go ahead and write out our equation here. So we did 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 1 to figure out that that was 13, right? So that was for the fourth, and we know that 13 was the output on our calendar marker, and we can see that here. So let me write the equation for the fifth. 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 1, which equals 16. Very good. So now what are you thinking? What is it doing? Look at my equation. Am I just adding in this function machine? No, I'm not adding. I'm multiplying by how much? How many times do you see this number? How many arms did we say there are in each one of those pictures that this function machine is thinking about before it spits out a number? There are 3 arms, and look, so we're multiplying whatever number is on that arm, which matches the date, times 3. So here's what that would look like. I have 5 times 3 plus 1. Do y'all see it? Is it making sense? So then on the fourth, it would be good. 4 times 3 plus 1, which equals 13. Guys, we are very close. Now, here's the deal. A function machine, you have to put in a code. So I can't put in on the date, multiply it by 3, times it by 1. Can't do that. So, or multiply by 3 and then add 1. I can't do that. I need a letter that would stand for any number, depending on what date it is. So here is our expression for the rule. It is, I'm going to write it over here, any number, so I'm going to put in for number, times 3, because we know we have those 3 arms, and then we add 1 for the one that's in the middle here, is going to give us our output. So let's double check. I'm going to create a T-chart for us, and we're going to check and see, is this correct? Okay, so we put in an in number, and then we get out number. In, out. If our number is 1, I would substitute 1 for in. And do 1 times 3 plus 1, which should give me 4. Is that what we had on our very first calendar marker? It is. Let's try another one. How about, I could go down the line here. 2. So that means I substitute 2 for in times 3, which is 6, plus 1, should give us 7. Look, it follows we're adding 3 each time. But here is our overall equation, expression that we're using in our function machine in order to create a pattern. Let me just fill in another number. Let's do 5. We know 5 times 3, we just solved it, is 15 plus 1 is 16. Let's try it for 12, which is today's date. Today is the 12th. What is 12 times 3? Good. 12 times 3 is 36, and then we still have to add 1. So we'd have 12 on each arm, and then that 1 in the middle. So we have 37. Let's check for today's calendar marker. Oh my gosh, it works. Our equation, or our expression that's happening in our function machine this month is n times 3 plus 1. So I wonder, what would our output number be if we had, let's just say on the 20th. What would our output be? 20 times 3, which is 2 times 3 times 10, essentially. 2 times 3 is 6, times 10 is 60, and then we still got to add 1. Since that's a weekend, let's go ahead and preview that and see if we're right. We're not. But maybe it's because the function changes. Oh my gosh, Ms. Trammell should have checked that beforehand, but that's okay. For this pattern, this is our rule. N represents the number, and whatever we get is our output. So, Ms. Trammell spoiled the fun because apparently our rule changes. And since I already showed you, let me just do it again. It looks like something else is happening. Do you see how the arrangement is like backwards almost? So we're going to have to figure that out once we get there, but not today. So, if I spoiled it, I'm sorry. It's Friday, so I think we'll end there. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you on... I will not see you on Monday the 15th because that is our e-learning day. But I will see you on Tuesday the 16th. So you guys have a great weekend and an extra day to get caught up on your work. Bye-bye.